Good afternoon and welcome to Wednesday's Wisdom. I'm Diane Conklin with Complete Marketing Systems and Diane'sDozen.com. Do you remember this? You're fired. That's as much as we'll go into that. Old TV show that used to be popular. I was hosting my mastermind for my high-level clients last week, and then I did one-on-ones with them this week on Tuesday and Wednesday. And which is today, but earlier today. And the topic of firing a client came up because one of my clients is working with somebody who's, it's not so much that they're difficult in that they don't always respond in a timely manner. They don't show up to scheduled meetings and cancel at the last minute, that kind of thing. And it's even the more interesting part about this particular situation is it's even more challenging to deal with another independent contractor that's doing different work for them than my client is. And so, but it got me thinking about, do you hesitate to fire clients when it's not working? When it's an easy decision, I think, when they're doing something that's unethical or that is not based on your ethical standards. It's something else when it's just a difficult, like, to get information and that kind of thing. But it just brought up some interesting things. Dan Kennedy used to say, if you wake up thinking about a client more than 2 days in a row, then there's something wrong. Now, his criteria was, and you weren't sleeping with them. I left that part out. But, and not thinking about them as in how can I help more, what can I do, that kind of thing, but thinking about an issue, a challenge, a problem that's reoccurring kind of thing. I would say the same thing is true if you have those thoughts with an independent contractor or an employee. You're waking up or it's keeping you awake kind of thing, then you need to think about that piece. But I've fired clients in my day, and it usually came down to either they were difficult. Usually in my situation, they were done for you situations, not so much a coaching, consulting, or a COO, kind of thing that I do, or project basis, but somebody who was in a done for you situation where you just couldn't get things from them in order to complete what you needed to do. Or I do remember one specific situation where they were doing something that didn't fit with my ethical and business standards. And so because of that, I said, I can't be a part of this. But I would love to know, have you ever fired a client? Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about whether you've ever done that or not, or whether you've ever been fired. Maybe you don't want to admit that, right? But I think it's important as business owners that we're open to the fact that you don't have to, accept every client. And that's a concept that a lot of people struggle with because, they see money going out the door, right? Well, it's going to cost you a whole lot more by taking the wrong client than it is by waiting for the right client to come. And sometimes, we all want that short-term gratification, but sometimes the short-term gratification turns to a long-term pain in the rear end, right? And so being selective with your clients, knowing who, and you hear me talk a lot about message to market match. When you do that, people are afraid because they're not abundant thinkers, right? And they get scared of, well, if I turn these people away, I'm turning money away. But it's a bigger picture than that. You're also turning away, peace of mind and the fun that you should be having while you're doing your business and those kinds of things. So I would love to hear from you. What do you think? Have you ever fired a client? Let's get some dialogue going here and let's talk about it. Until next time, make it a great day.